First, let us examine some of the ways fire could have occurred in this neck of the Hotchkiss Woods. Slash and burn agriculture, natural fire, as in from lightning or extreme heat, or human fault. I started my research with a simple walk to a location that was provided by an all-knowing force. Once I arrived to the vicinity, I began soil collecting every 20 meters or so, ending at about 150 meters. To collect soil, I used a soil core extractor, a metal rod that is pushed into the ground and then pulled out, taking with it a chunk of the O and A horizon. I then put the soil in a brown paper bag for later analysis. I ended up doing about 7 of these cores initially. I took the soil collections back to the lab to analyze them. To do this, I emptied the bags that I had used one by one into a grater and mashed it to weed out the rocks or large pieces of charcoal. I then sift through the fine dirt to find any pieces of charcoal. I found pieces of charcoal in soil sample number 2 and 6, but the pieces in soil sample number 2 appeared to be more recent. In others, I found what appeared to initially be charcoal, but revealed itself to be pieces of bark. In other words, fake charcoal, or fake news. Scattered throughout many samples were also small pieces of clear quartz, a mineral resulting from both heat and pressure, evidence of a possible major fire long ago, or maybe a recent small brush fire. Finding charcoal remnants in really only one soil sample, I decided to return to that site and take 5 more samples in a circle, all in a 15-meter radius from the location of the original sample. I also noted in my return the geography of the location. This gentle slope and general evenness was most likely ideal for agriculture at some point. I concluded that slash and burn agriculture hundreds of years ago was probably the last real large-scale fire in this specific area. After taking 5 more soil samples, I returned to the lab to try an alternative technique, charcoal floating. Since charcoal has a density that is lighter than water, I was able to take some of the soil sample's fine dirt and pour it into a graduated cylinder or beaker, wait for the organic matter and hopefully charcoal to float to the top, and then extract the floating remnants. To see if it was indeed charcoal, I performed a strike test. I dragged the remnants along a paper napkin to see if its mark would match that of charcoal. Lo and behold, a few of them did. From my research, I was able to conclude that ultimately, fire does not have a huge impact on soil over the long run. While I would have hoped to find large pieces of charcoal left over from Native American slash and burn hundreds of years ago, I realized something more important. The charcoal simply gets assimilated into the soil like most organic matter. Instead, it gives the soil pH benefits, increased healthiness, and higher water retainment, all of which allows the soil to support the massive ecosystem we know today. So while a large-scale fire has not burned here in quite some time, its impact is certainly felt.